Yeah, definitely. I just want to, to be in the right situation. But yeah, because especially because the studios, in New York at least, they're not here no more. You know what I'm saying? It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Community smaller, and it's just certain things that you have to pass down, and it's a shame that the guys that are graduating out of the schools now don't have this, huge like, plethora of like places to go. You know what I mean? When I first came to New York, it was just studios everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Especially like hip hop was popping at the time, so it was like just a lot of movement as well. Like, it was nothing for producers just to hang out around studios just to see who was in there. Try to pass off beats. It was a little run they could make around to a bunch of different studios. So the point is you gotta pass the information on, and it's just stuff that needs to be taught. Like I see people making the same mistakes, or hear, people making the same mistakes, and it's not really this super complicated thing. You know what I mean? Or just when people complain about not hearing different types of sounds and things like that, it's because people don't know how to program synths, really. You know what I'm saying? They buy synths and they mess with the patches, but they don't really like when you deal with certain genres of music, like let's say house music, right? Part of the style of certain genres of house music is when somebody's playing a note, they're messing with the filter of the sound. They grow the sounds when they're DJing. You know what I'm saying? They actually mess with the filters. And hip hop production, what isn't necessarily based off of that. You know what I'm saying? It's based off the sample. It's based off of just, you know what I'm saying, laying over top of the samples. So meaning to say, our producers sometimes don't have the full understanding of the way that synths work, or the way that original synths were made, so that these new synths, what they're emulating, right? So you don't really know how to program it to do what you want it to do. So that's really the main thing, because then you can start expressing the sounds better and not just be stuck with the preset sounds that come with it, or you know, the more palette of color that you have, the better the paint is going to look like. You know what I mean? People need to learn how to make sounds instead of just relying on, like, because you live in this age of 150 gig sound libraries, and everything is just so available. People haven't really taken, and the information is there, and it's so much easier now to sit with an emulation of an old keyboard on your computer and mess with the knobs and understand the concept of what's going on, versus when we were younger, we had to actually find somebody that had one. You know what I mean? Or be lucky enough to find a shop that was selling one. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So that's the whole purpose behind it, trying to teach. It just has to be the right situation.
Right. Are you more so like want to go to like a college course, or more of a technical?
Yeah, I think it should be like inside of a college, because you get the but at the same time, I'm always thinking about those people that can't afford college or not in that situation. So I have to find a way to facilitate that as well. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm the type of person that I believe in the college system, and I believe in somebody that knows what they want to do and goes after that without college just as well. But the focus of that person has to be serious. To me, that's the most important. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, you could be in college and be unfocused and get nothing out of it. But you could be focused as hell right after high school and know exactly what you want to do and go straight to doing it. So it's the person and not the environment. But a college environment will work. I know a situation that'll work that way.
Mm. And you plan on doing, well, when you do this, here in New York or abroad, or?
Both. Cool. It has to be broken up, but it'll be excuse me. It'll be learning how to move the chess pieces, basically, which people don't have the fundamentals of how to actually move those pieces and what they're for, so that you don't have to think about the equipment. The equipment is not really something that you know what I'm saying? It's not, should never really be the focus, and that's hard to teach to people that are interested in equipment, right? But the equipment is there to do something. So the song is the most important thing, right? The equipment is just to facilitate getting the song. So once you master the equipment, then you don't have to think about what you're doing. You just go do it to get the result for the song. Or like, it doesn't matter if you have every software plugin cracked on your computer. You know what I'm saying? If you're not making good songs with all the crack plug, it's really worthless. Some people make songs with one keyboard their whole life and have a lot of hits. So it's how well you master what you're doing, and at the end of the day, remember that the song is more important than the process. And a lot of times, engineers and producers get caught up in the process and not the actual, well, what's the end result. You know what I'm saying? You have to. One of the things that I just realized is that on this drive, right? This drive is what is it? 500 gigs, or no? This is a terabyte, right? I have every record that I could ever imagine, that I ever dug, ever thought about digging, ever knew about on this drive. You see what I'm saying? This is about 20,000 records on here right now. Right? Albums. And it's still like the tip of the iceberg. So it's not about, like, we come from a digging culture where we dug for records, and the point was to find an obscure record. Now that the records are on the internet, or, you know, everybody has access to it, it reinforces even more that point that the record itself, the digging process and the record itself is really a trophy when you really understand the science of what it is. Because when I sat and thought about, well, I have all of my actual physical records on MP3s, why do I still keep my records? Because they're actual trophies. Besides the fact that there's stories behind me digging for those records, the record itself is like a trophy. It's a physical thing that you hold, and it reminds you of a sound. Because when you're looking at the front of the record, it's reminding you of the sound. But the sound is the most important thing. Whether it comes off vinyl, CD, an 8-track, an MP3, that's what the audio files in this thing missed with the MP3. When they was like, oh, the MP3 is not the same quality. I was, you know what I'm saying? I was in these debates with people. It doesn't matter. I had Illmatic on a cassette that was dubbed down 5 times with so much hiss on it, but it was still Illmatic. You see what I'm saying? So the MP3 is way better than my 5-time dubbed down Illmatic tape. So to the people, it doesn't matter. What matters is what is coming out of them 2 speakers. So you have to understand that the culture is just that. It's cultural. It's things for us, that people that believe in that type of thing. For me, number one, I recognize all the different types of diggers, because there's some people that's digging and just go in just to find records to play at a party. It's some people that dig following behind other producers, like Primo used that, Pete used that, this person used that. That was never like my style. I dig to find records that I never heard before. I don't care if it's the most, like, what I found in my process is that by being honest, you learn a lot more. Like, it could be some super known record in the digger circle, but if I don't know it and have never heard it, I'm not gonna front like, oh, I know that. I've never heard it, so you know what I'm saying? Okay, boom. Or it could be something that, you know, nobody knows about, and I think is incredible. You know what I mean? It's just for me and my musical knowledge. Nobody's ever gonna know every record, so there really is no cap, no top to it. There is no king of digging, right? Because everybody knows a record that somebody else don't know. So that's the whole thing, is discovery. And once you get past the, yo, I have every record, because you run into them guys. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you know about, yeah, I got that. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you get past that, you start understanding, you know what I'm saying, what the real thing is. And then you get beyond the, yo, I need every library record. I need every European, you know, this record. I need every Japanese funk record. You start going back to the, yo, the Ohio Players is really the shit. Like, this shit is hot because, you know what I'm saying, it was famous because it's hot.